Hi, my friends. Thanks for tuning in to Unity Center in Leavenworth's broadcast for this week, October 9th, 2016. Today's lesson was weights and measures, and it's how we measure ourselves and how we impose our own self-limitations and ways to getting past those limitations. So we had some technical difficulties with our video today, so that is not available, but we will provide the audio with some select pictures that represent the theme. So thank you again for tuning in, and remember our service times are Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. at 1620 Rose Street, Leavenworth, Kansas. Thank you for watching and enjoy the lesson Weights and Measures today. Thank you. Our talk today is weights and measures. What's all that about? Well, it started out actually being something completely different. You know, you start working on a talk sometimes, and it goes this way or that way. And this one went completely over here. I was like, I started out talking about this guy. He's not even a part of the talk anymore. He'll come probably in a couple of weeks. But weights and measures. So I thought one of the fun things that we could do is start out with a scale here. And so I'm going to put the scale right up here. And anybody who would like to volunteer to come up here, what we're going to do is we're going to have you weigh in today. And then we're going to post all of the results on the Facebook page. So, but any volunteers that would like to come up and stand on the scale, and just to make sure that we don't under-evaluate anybody, I'm going to go ahead and add an extra 30 pounds to the result that's going to be here. So I'll be. See all this fun. We're not recording. So anybody who would like to come up and just take a stand on the scale, that's fine.
None of your business.
Okay. So I'll put Petra, none of your business. Should I put that for everybody? Should I just copy that whole? So I'm going to go ahead and step on the scale. I'm a lot heavier than a lot of people think. I'm a lot heavier than a lot of people think. Any wagers? That's okay. Okay. Oh, actually, I'm 120 times 2. Okay, so that'll make me 270. Okay, I'm 270. Okay, so I really am 240 pounds. That's what I am. It's okay. But I wanted to point out, you feel that anxiety? You feel that anxiety that the idea of that information being public? What are we measuring ourselves against? Who set the standard? Who's to say that 240 pounds isn't perfect? Who's to say 500 pounds isn't perfect? Maybe the guys on Madison Avenue have their own ideas of what perfection is, and they've projected this image onto us. Matter of fact, I found this quite interesting. The scale says thinner. So you're automatically met with this idea that you need to lose weight, even before you step on the scale. We measure ourselves with this in so many ways. We are measuring ourselves, and we allow these things to limit ourselves. Oh gosh, I'm too heavy, or I'm not good looking enough. Oh, I can't wear a two-piece bathing suit. Oh, they'll see part of me that I don't want to be seen because I don't look like that Barbie doll. We can't go to the beach, honey, because my beer belly will get burned. Can't have that. I can't go without my hat because my hairline's too far back. Who sets these rules? Every single one of us in this world, 6 billion of us, are completely different. Completely. No DNA is alike. Fingerprints, very unique. So why are we trying to conform to an image? Why are we measuring ourselves against this ridiculous standard? But not only do we measure ourselves, we measure other people. We measure other people. We think, oh, look at him. Look at her. She thinks she's all that. Well, I guess she is for her. Maybe not for you, but she is for her. Oh, he's a jerk. Maybe he is for you, but maybe not for himself. We are always measuring ourselves. We're always measuring other people. It's part of this physical universe that we live in. So, and we look around, and one of the first stories I want to share with you is about this guy. You look at this picture. He looks average, normal, right? Doesn't look unusual. J.C. Merrick. You'd see him on the street, you wouldn't think twice. Let me share with you a poem that he used to think about himself. "'Tis true my form is something odd, but blaming me is blaming God. Could I create myself anew, I would not fail in pleasing you. If I could reach from pole to pole, or grasp the ocean with a span, I would be measured by the soul. The mind's the standard of the man." This is a very computerized image of J.C. Merrick, because his real image was the Elephant Man. So if you saw him on the street, you wouldn't think twice. He didn't ask for his disease. He had elephantitis. He didn't ask for his disease. He got his disease. But he was ridiculed. He was tortured. He was treated so badly. He died at the age of 27. All at no fault of his own, because he had elephantitis. We really measured him, didn't we? Well, we measure a lot of people. Our physical stature, we look at people and we think, they're too short to do this, or they're too tall to do that, or whatever. What does Charles Fillmore say about image? A mental representation of anything not actually present to the senses. Everything that is manifested was first a mental picture and was brought into expression by forming the power of the imagination. Man accumulates a mass of ideas about substance and life, and with his imagination he molds them into shape. Now he's talking about a different kind of image. He's talking about the image maybe of our life. Each one of us must not only see the image of our desires as a theory, but we also must form it into a living, breathing thing through every motive and act. And his idea is that self-image of creating that life that we want to create, but we have to do it with everything that we think. So if we're talking about all this negative self-talk, we could really limit ourselves. I'm too heavy to ride that carnival ride. I'm too short. Let me tell you about another guy who's too short. We'll go to here first. What does the Bible say about self-image? So God created this, Genesis chapter 1, the very first book of the Bible. So God created mankind in his own image. The image of God, he created them. Male and female created them. God blessed them and said, be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the sky and every living creature that moves on the ground. That's what God thinks of us. God thinks of us as very worthy of ruling over the planet. God didn't say you have to be, can't be 240. No, he didn't say that. Or she didn't say that, or God didn't say that, however you want to view God. Let me tell you about this guy. Here's a guy who's the shortest guy in NBA history. Muggsy Bogues, Tyrone Muggsy Bogues. He was 5'3", and in his rookie season, he was a teammate of the tallest guy in NBA history, Manute Bol, which actually, probably some of you might know, he actually used to live in Olathe. Muggsy Bogues, you would think, wow, there's a guy who really overcame a physical limitation to become a star athlete. He didn't just survive in the NBA for a couple of years. He played in the NBA for 14 years. He is one of the most successful players in assists in the NBA history. He's in the top 20. He also was great at stealing the ball. But the thing about Muggsy, that I was thinking, well, gosh, here's somebody who had every reason to be discouraged. He grew up in the projects in Baltimore, Maryland. And you think, well, he probably had a set of parents behind him. Hey, we believe in you, Muggsy. We believe in you. You're going to be able to be a star athlete one day. You would think he would have those kinds of parents, but no, his father was in prison. He was raised by a single mother. And I'm sure she gave him every ounce of confidence she could. But what didn't discourage him was he said that he was going to practice because he loved what he did. He loved it. And he didn't care if people thought he was too short. They used to laugh at him. In high school, his team won the state championship. And he was the star of the team. So we would look at him on the street and think, wow, how would this guy be able to be an NBA star? Well, because he himself had the image that he was. He did not let the world define him. Even though everybody around him was taller than him, he played bigger than anybody else. I'll tell you about a story I had this week. It's almost sad. I met this girl on a gig, and I'll call her Julie. And she said, yeah, I made the top 500 in American Idol. That's quite an accomplishment. And she goes, but I didn't make it past Hollywood Week. And so I just sort of gave up. I figured what was the point? What was the use? It was too heartbreaking for me to give up. And I thought, man, that's some hardcore thinking. And I said to her, email me. I want to help you. I want to see if would you be open to doing a gig with me? If I was able to get a gig, would you be able to come and do a gig with me? And she goes, well, yeah, sure. I said, yeah, you can't let that moment define you. You're still a young girl. But she was caught in the idea that somebody had told her that she was not good enough anymore. She was not good enough anymore. So Julie is living with the idea that just because American Idol said, you're not going to make the top 24, she just might not be a good singer. She's not able to get past that. But really, the choice is hers. I still haven't received an email from her. Does she really want to change, or does she want to just be a victim the rest of her life of that circumstance. One of my favorite sayings is, people choose to be a victim. They choose to be a victim. That's hard words to hear sometimes. Even myself. We choose to be victims of our circumstances. I can't do that because of this. I can't do that because I'm too short. It would have been very easy for Muggsy Bogues to say, gosh, I'm too short. I'll never make the NBA. In addition to his basketball prowess in the NBA, he was also, and still is, the record holder in the ACC for steals and assists. He's a record holder. Not only is he 5'3", but he's a record-holding 5'3". So you have it either way. You know, you have this dream, this idea, and you get to decide. You get to measure yourself. You get to decide the outcome by holding that image in your mind. I don't know if we ever got the video to work with this next lady, but remember this lady, Susan Boyle? And I decided to play the clip today because if you haven't seen it, it's one of the most inspirational clips I've ever seen on the internet. So I'm going to let Rick switch it over to our YouTube, and hopefully we